Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Retro XP. I mean, my name is actually Stoy, but this is the Retro XP podcast. I'm doing a pickups video of everything that I picked up at Midwest Gaming Classic this past week. You guys will remember on a previous episode, I did a video game collector's diary of sorts where I talked about some of the things that I think and feel about the collecting space and also where I want to go. I've been collecting for about 15 years at this point. I've been going to the Midwest Gaming Classic as long as I can remember, probably. Right now, I think they celebrated their 20th anniversary. They've been around for a very long time, but I've been going for about maybe 10, 12 years at this point, probably maybe even a little bit longer. Midwest Gaming Classic, I started going there when it was being run at a hotel out in Brookfield, Wisconsin, and now they've gone big time. So now they're at pretty much a big venue, one of the biggest venues that we have here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So without further ado, let's get into it. And a couple stuff I'm going to bring out is a little bit of setup for what I bought beforehand. I want to start with the Atari 7800 Plus that I picked up. This is a brand new system. As you can see, it has an HDMI port on it. So it's obviously works on modern consoles and everything. And it looks pretty much just like the actual 7800, but much smaller package. And, build quality feels pretty good. It's got the original controller ports. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got original controller ports where you can plug in the legacy controllers, or the new controllers come with this little dongle. I ended up picking up, obviously packaged with this game comes with this, kind of 2-button joystick. And it has this removable little pad on it. It's a directional pad. It's not like an analog pad or anything like that, but it's removable. So if you want to use just a regular D-pad, you can, but I find this to be a little bit more comfortable on the thumbs. But yeah, it plugs in, like here, and it's just a wireless dongle, so to speak. I'm pretty sure there's some other controllers that can plug into it. I'm not exactly for sure, but as you can see, it's got a slot for cartridges here. And it fits any normal cartridges. One of the games I picked up was Atlantis. So this is an old school cartridge. Slides right in pretty much. So just like any normal cartridge. Some of the cartridges, when you slide it in, sound pretty clunky. So yeah, like I want to say this is a 2600 game. I think Pele Soccer, that's definitely one game. But yeah, it slides in pretty nice. Even this game, what is this, Lock and Chase? Slides right in, pretty good. So I ended up at Midwest Gaming Classic, put that over here, I guess. At Midwest Gaming Classic, I ended up picking up, a wireless joystick. And it looks pretty much, it's got a cable if you want it. Pretty much looks like the original OG Legacy joystick. These joysticks didn't control that well from the beginning, and it doesn't control that well here with this one. I would like holding it like this with your hand and moving it up and down like that it's pretty rough. I gotta say, playing games on the Atari is pretty rough. It's not like what we're used to nowadays with like modern control schemes and modern directional pads, but it's what we had at the time. And it's made to emulate, not improve. So if you want something improved, this may not be it. But I wanted to start collecting Atari games. That's what I said in my last video game collector's diary episode. I wanted to collect Atari games. I wanted to get into the space. I never had an Atari growing up, and I thought, what better way to do it than to get something like this, actually made by the company. So it's not like it's one of those like cheap emulator systems that you find at the dollar store or anything like that. This is actual, plays actual physical hardware. So where am I putting everything? I guess I'll put it over there. So I guess we could start with some of the Atari pickups that I have. Oh, a lot of inbox stuff. So I picked up Solaris. I had a friend of mine help me out. Eric, you know who you are. I had a friend of mine help me with some of the Atari games because I think he was a little bit more well-versed in some of them than I was. And I was just interested in picking this up. I want to say, I think I played this one. I think this was the one that... No, I don't think this was the one where you're like destroying asteroids and stuff like that. I think that's a different one. But a lot of these I haven't played yet. But Solaris is a good one. Pole Position, everyone knows that one. Commando, this looks like, it looks new. So to speak. This game initially came out in '85, so I wonder if this is a reprint. but Commando is I heard pretty good things about. Dig Dug, complete in box. Pole Position 2, which is really cool. Box is in a little rough shape, but you know, it's fine. These are Atari games. These are older than probably some of you guys watching this video. You got a Pac-Man. Yeah, I like that these come with the boxes and everything. Or what is this, a catalog? Oh yeah, it's a catalog. It's not a book or anything like that. So, kind of cool. You get to see some other games that are, you know, available for the system as well. So, kind of cool. I don't know. I like books. They don't make books anymore. Anybody out there miss books? I miss books. Anyway, Xevious. This is a good one. This is a top-down shmup for the Atari 7800. I played this. This is a really good game. Kind of challenging. Pretty challenging. This game is best played with the 2-button controller. If you try playing this with the joystick, it doesn't work very well because you actually need two buttons for this. You need one to shoot and then another one to drop bombs. So if you want to succeed in this, highly recommend using the 2-button controller. And it's made for the 7800, so it kind of makes sense. And then Mario Brothers for the Atari 2600. I got that one. Now, there was a vendor that I went to where he was selling, and if you don't know, Atari games don't sell. They just don't sell. And no one's buying these games. So you go to, there's a lot of even like secondhand video game stores that don't even buy them because they just sit on the shelf. No one's out here collecting Atari games. So the vendor that I was at, one of the vendors I was at that had like just bins of Atari games just sitting there, was like, hey man, create a stack, let's make a deal. These just sit on my shelf, I need to get rid of them. So I'm like, well, you're in luck. I'm looking for Atari games. So I put this on there. I put a couple boxes. I really don't know exactly what I put up there, but I ended up buying the stack of a few in-box games, a few loose games that I'll be showing later, and then this one for 50 bucks. Now, if you're an avid collector out there, especially in the Atari space, you will find that Mario Brothers for the 2600, complete in box, I mean, damn good label. And this one comes with an actual book, really good quality and everything. This goes for 80 bucks. This game itself goes for 80 bucks. So I think the guy paid me to buy these games. I'm not knocking it. You know, like, even though it's worth 80 bucks, I highly doubt anybody's lining up to buy it, and not a lot of people are lining up to sell it, much less. So I thought I put this in my game collector app, and I was like, you know, I scanned the UPC and everything, and it popped up as 80 bucks. So I was like, wow. Really good deal there, especially finding games at a convention. So let's see, I got another stack here. Oh, jeez. How can I hold all these games? Let's see, Frogger. Or I should probably hold it up, right? Frogger. Yar's Revenge. Another loose copy of Pac-Man. I bought that, I think, for like less than $1, if that, but found the box later. So, Donkey Kong. ColecoVision game. E.T. I have to have E.T. So, you know, you have to, even though it's terrible. Asteroids. Ended up picking that up. And then some of these other like silver carts. Let's see, you got Cosmic Ark. I think this was the one that had the spaceship where you had to like rescue people and then also like shoot asteroids. But this is like a Sears video game system. Because Sears, if you listen to one of my previous episodes about the Atari systems, I think I mentioned that Sears was almost like an exclusive seller of Atari games for a time. So, Firefighter, I have not played that one yet. Demon Attack, have not played that one yet either. Raiders of the Lost Ark, this game is confusing as hell for me. I don't know what to do. I tried looking up videos of it, and it doesn't make sense to me. None of these games make sense to me. So, and Miss Pac-Man, really good 7800 game as well. Ooh, I forgot a couple more. Oh God. Atlantis. I forget if I played this one or not. I don't know. A few of them I just jumped in and I plugged in every now and then. Lock and Chase. I don't know what this is. And then Pele Soccer. This is going to be an interesting one. So, another system that I bought when in my previous video that I mentioned, another system I bought I wanted to get into was Master System. So I ended up finding pretty clean copy of a Master System. And I ended up picking up the Light Phaser separately. I think the Light Phaser by itself was like 15, 20 bucks, I think. This goes for about 120. So about really what you expect. Comes with a controller as well. Let's see, let's put that there. And I started playing a lot of these Master System games. And let me tell you, man, I feel like I missed out on the Master System. The Master System was out at the same time the Nintendo was, and I would say most of my friends, most of the people that I knew at the time, had a Nintendo. Not a lot of people had a Master System. I don't think I even heard of it when I was a kid until the Sega Genesis came out. And when I was a kid, for all intents and purposes, I thought the Sega Genesis was Sega's first system. So playing some of these games, played some of these Master System games that I'll be showing you later on, I'm like, man, I really missed out. Like the Master System, if they had maybe better notoriety or maybe a few more better games, maybe it would have like beat out the Nintendo. But you know, they had some pretty good games in it. So my gripe is this controller, is this D-pad. If you call it a D-pad, it looks like a square, and it's directional, you know. And there are diagonals, which makes, like, if you want to try to jump forward, hitting the diagonal makes it easier on your thumbs compared to the Nintendo, the NES controller. But still, like, so many misinputs on this thing, especially when you're trying to duck, or maybe when you're trying to like move forward or backward or something like that. But you know, minor gripe, nothing too crazy. Then it's got 2 buttons. Pretty much one button is like the start button. A lot of these games you can't save, or you can't pause, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with a lot of these games. And I learned something from another friend of mine that he also knows who he is, that there's a lot of these games are, like the Master System is region unlocked. So like you can buy any Master System game, you can buy a Japanese version, PAL version, US version, and play it. And the interesting thing is that some of the PAL region games are much cheaper than the US region games for whatever reason. So first I picked up Sonic the Hedgehog, the original one, almost like similar to like their Game Gear counterparts. So I bought this for like $5, as you can see on the price, kind of. So let's put that there, I guess. I ended up actually picking up Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So similar clamshell style cases like the Sega Genesis. I love this style. Comes with a really, really good book. And I think this is the PAL version because it's got multiple different languages. So, because kids, if you don't know, in Europe, they speak multiple different languages.
No shit.
So, so that's why some of these, like if you see me flash and you see some of the prices on this, like I want to say this is like $25. I think it's a little bit more expensive if you buy the US version. And I guess from what I understand, if you look at the UPC, I don't know if you could see that, but you see the last number. If the last number is a 7, I think that makes it a US version, I want to say. Yeah, I think so. So that's your tell to find out if it's actual PAL version, because it's not like it says it on the back or anything like that. So yeah, Sonic 2, let's put that there. Castle of Illusion, good, solid one. Looks like someone scribbled on this one. I'm flashing this so quick. But, oh, this is interesting. I wonder what all that means. This is why I love like collecting like old school physical stuff, because like you get some interesting things written in some of these books, and yeah, I wonder what that's about. I guess I'll never know unless all those people, all those names reach out to me. Taito Chase HQ. This is a good one. Most of these I want to say have books in them. I just like books. Let me tell you. For the most part, it's like you buy a game because you want to play it, so it's not like you need the book, but it's just a nice thing to have, you know? So I think Alex Kidd and Miracle World, this is definitely an American version because I spent $55 for this. But this comes with the book, and it actually comes with a kind of like sick little poster. So kind of more so like an advertisement, but yeah, this is cool. Space Harrier. So kind of looks like Space Harrier a little bit in the front, but it's got a list of all the games that you can buy for it too as well. So kind of neat. Look at that. I don't know. I hesitate to think if that's a reprint or a relabel or anything like that because it looks so clean, but I don't know. Whoever maybe bought this, whoever had this game in their collection took care of it. That could be that too. But it plays on the Master System and it plays really well. Ken Sidon. This is a cool game. This is one that this is definitely a PAL version because I want to say I saw the American version for this for $50, and this one I bought for $25. So yeah, same. Got a cool little book, really good cart and everything. This was a cool game because this kind of reminds me a little bit like Shinobi. So there was a Shinobi that came out for the Master System, but this was almost like a precursor to Shinobi. But challenging game to say the least, but still fun. It's a lot of fun. I logged in quite a bit of time with this. So. Zillion 2, I didn't end up picking up Zillion, the first one, but this one looked pretty cool to me. I want to say this is kind of like another platformer as well that I heard good things about. I did find Zillion, but I think they were selling it for like a lot more than kind of what I wanted to pay for it. So, and this is a PAL version, so this was obviously less than what it probably should have been. Renegade, this was a cool one. This one kind of reminds me, this is like an old school beat 'em up. The Ninja, I haven't played this game, but look at this cover art. It's interesting cover art. Bought this for like $5. This was another PAL game. So that's the way to go if you can find them. And then Vigilante. This is a game kind of, I likened it to Kung Fu for the NES. But man, is this game got some weird jank. Like it has this, enemies, you have these particular enemies that come at you and just grab you, and you have to like time it right to hit them. You can either punch or kick depending on the button that you use, and you have to time it right to hit them before they come and grab you. And it's like, man, these guys come out quick at you, they grab you, and then it's like they hold on to you and they just drain your life, and it's so freaking annoying. But it's a fun game, honestly. It's it's got that kind of like street gang edge, as you can see in this cover art, yeah, it's a fun game, honestly. Like I said earlier, I totally missed out on the Master System. Totally missed out on it, and it's one of those things like, you wish you could go back in time and maybe, I don't know, tell your younger self, here's a couple $100, go buy a Master System. But ultimately, you can only do so much. And the great thing now is that all these systems are still available. Yeah, granted, you got to pay for it, but it is what it is. Like, you can still experience these things. You can still find these things out there in the ether somewhere and still have these kind of like new memories, so to speak. So, yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about, and I know I talked about this in a previous episode, is the Timebreaker light gun. And these guys were actually at MGC. And the one thing I talked to them about was, hey, what are the possibilities of you guys coming up with a pedal? And reps from the company were there, and they kind of like laughed at me, and they're like, we don't want to say anything quite yet, but we've seen what other people have been doing, plugging in a pedal, because I mentioned this on the episode, but like, you got this kind of like plug on the bottom. I mean, that's the charge plug, the USB-C, but you got this other plug in here. It's like a kind of like an aux plug that could potentially fit a pedal of some kind. So, the guy's like, there's other people out there that have been doing it themselves. So maybe if you find like some sort of pedal that has a plug, maybe you can code it or something. I don't know. I'd have to do some Google searching to figure out how people are doing that. But I'm also waiting for the company to, come up with something on their own. But solid construction, feels pretty good, in the hand. But yeah. So another thing I picked up, another system I wanted to get into was TurboGrafx 16. And I wanted the TurboGrafx 16, I think goes for about $250 to $300 by itself. And I'm like, I'm a fan of the Polymega, so why don't I just buy the module for $70? So I bought the module for it, $70. And when I talked about it in a previous episode, these are what the modules look like. So a little slot for the card, 2 controller ports, and we're talking the OG controller ports. And this is what the actual controller looks like. I should have thought about getting a, kind of like an actual controller there at the con, but I just didn't think about it. I was just kind of focused on other things. So for now, this is my controller. This is what I'm using. Good solid controller. Honestly, Polymega makes good quality stuff. Like, it feels premium quality. So I have that in my collection now. So I ended up picking up a couple other TurboGrafx 16 games, some really good ones. You could buy inbox stuff, but I tried to kind of keep my options open. So this was an expensive one. Arizonk. Can't believe I spent the amount of money I did on this thing. I think that I spent like $200 on this. But Arizonk, really solid, kind of like side-scrolling shoot 'em up. I'm not into shoot 'em ups really, but every video I've seen out there of people saying like, these are the games you need on your TurboGrafx 16. Everybody referred to Arizonk, and it's actually a really fun game. It's not that I hate shoot 'em ups or shmups, but it's just not my game that I like to go to. But they're really cool, like quick drop in, drop out type games, and this game is really good. Really cool power-ups, really cool bosses, amazing graphics, amazing character designs, enemy designs. Like, it's a really fun game. And yes, if you don't know what a TurboGrafx 16, this is the actual game cart that you use. You slide it into the card slots, and all the game data is on here. Keep in mind, obviously, that if you keep this in a high humidity area, these contacts will rot, so careful with that. I have to come up with some, maybe cassette tape carts or something like that. I'll figure something out. I got Legendary Axe. That's kind of like a main staple. Haven't played that yet, but Bloody Wolf I played. this has kind of like an interesting gameplay mechanic. You play as one character, and your objective is to rescue the president. And you go through the jungles, you know, kind of like Rambo-ish style, whatever. You're rescuing hostages, you rescue the president, and then you find yourself in trouble. So now the other character, you play as him, now you have to go rescue the other character that's in trouble. Because you've rescued the president in your first gameplay, and then all of a sudden now you have to select the other character to go rescue your buddy, so to speak. So it's like you're almost replaying different parts of the levels just to go rescue your buddy while the president like hops it in a helicopter. So then obviously found an inbox. Oh, if you call this inbox, it's a, you know, CD case of Blanc's Revenge. You know, the book is in pretty good condition, and it's got this. It's not like a regular CD case. It's just like, you know, a slot for your little card. But this one's another fun one. This was supposed to be TurboGrafx 16's answer in the mascot wars. So not necessarily like Mario, you know. Obviously, this was supposed to go toe-to-toe with Mario and Sonic, and it did its part. Unfortunately, we didn't see TurboGrafx 16 stay in the market because I think Sega and Nintendo were a little bit too dominant, but, you know, it is what it is. So, now I got kind of like more random stuff like hidden around here, so none of what I'm going to pull is going to be, you know. So, one game I got was Piglet's Big Game. This game became popular after the Silent Hill 2 remake because I think a lot of people liken this to be kind of a survival horror game as opposed to a standard kid game, because I want to say this is a game that deals with Piglet's ultimate fears manifest. Kind of similar to Silent Hill 2, I guess. So I got this game for $55. Actually, it wasn't a bad deal, honestly. I think it was worth a little bit more. Maybe. I think the GameCube version's worth a little bit more too, because maybe that's a little bit more rare. But this is, I haven't played this yet. I hope to, maybe at some point. So, Gradius 3 and 4. I, you know, kind of maybe showing interest in shoot 'em ups, and I've heard the Gradius games on the PlayStation 2 are really good. I was actually trying to find 5, but couldn't find it, unfortunately. Zelda, Four Swords Adventures. I just realized as I'm recording this that I have Minish Cap up in my Game Boy Advance somewhere here. I didn't pull that out, but I'm not gonna pause the video just to go get it. But you know, I ended up picking up Minish Cap as well, because Four Swords Adventures and Minish Cap were the two only other Zelda games that I have not picked up yet, or like mainline Zelda games. So really excited to have this in my collection. Solid inbox. I think I ended up paying $90 for this. Comes with all the inserts and everything, which is really cool. But I'm telling you guys, like, you buy a game, you buy a physical game, and you get all this information. Like, you get this book, and you get this. It's like really cool art, you know, really cool designs. I mean, even like just simple, like, you know, obviously, you know, finding out what buttons do what. So, but yeah, really good disc and everything. So, excited to have that one. This is a cool one. I have Radiant Historia for the 3DS. I have this for the DS. I bought this. This is actually brand new, sealed and everything. Comes with art book, a decal sheet, and the game. And I think, yeah, that's it. But this was a good game. This is an RPG that deals with kind of time travel, where you can alter the fates of the world by jumping into different timelines. And the major game mechanic is, you know, trying to find the good ending or the good path with all the decisions you made. And you can actually go back and change things. And, you know, you see the timeline that you've created and this map, and you can warp back to certain areas. This was a really good game on the DS, and they remade it for the 3DS because they called this one Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. And they made it with a third ending, kind of like an ultimate, we're gonna wrap things up conclusively with this third ending. So I'm excited to jump into this once I open it. I don't resell things, so I plan on, you know, playing it. That's why I buy games. I buy games to play it. This was a cool one that I found. I had this in the back of, I had this game, Thimbleweed Park, in the back of my head, and I was like, you know what, if I ever find this or whatever, like, I'll buy it. And I saw it at a vendor, and he was selling it for $90, and I was kind of like, well, I open the box, and all that comes with it is a game. And it leads me to believe there's other stuff that should have come with it. But, you know, maybe like an art book and some other things, like maybe like a CD soundtrack or something, but game comes with nothing. So I talked him down. You know, I was like, hey, I'm just getting the game here. And, you know, it's for the Nintendo Switch, and it comes with a little book and everything. So there's still companies and developers out there making books. It's not the same, because look how tiny this thing is. That game is like a cross, from what I understand. It's like a point-and-click adventure, kind of similar to Mad Max, not Mad Max, Maniac Mansion, and where you were playing as, like, it's almost like Twin Peaks meets X-Files, and you're investigating murders in this kind of like small, probably Washington State town. And
I fly halfway around the world, and an odd note is waiting for me in my hotel room. It says to come to the bridge down by the river. This looks like the place. I could really go for some Wiener Schnitzel after the long walk out here.
So tell me again why you're here.
I was assigned to the case by the Home Office in Albuquerque.
Signals are very strong tonight.
What signals?
The signals. Signals are very strong tonight.
Yes, you already said that, but what signals?
I'm just screwing with you. Dark night. Deserted road. Me in a giant pigeon costume? It was too good to pass up. But the signals are strong tonight. Very strong.
Another Game Boy Advance game I picked up was Castlevania Circle of the Moon. And I think this, I gotta look, but I think this completes my Castlevania collection that I need, at least the mainline Castlevania games. I think I ended up picking this one up for $90. You know, I think I played this on the Dominus collection that I have, because you can buy this on the Switch for like whatever, cheap money. But this is, I really like the, you know, Game Boy Advance games. I kind of skipped out on those because I didn't have a Game Boy Advance when I was growing up. I think I had moved on from handhelds to normal platforms, you know, normal systems like the PlayStation 2 at the time, the GameCube and Xbox. But, you know, like I said earlier, like you know, it's never too late. You can still pick up a lot of this stuff. So other Game Boy games I picked up, Iridion 3D. This was a forward-scrolling shooter, and you're in a spaceship, and you're kind of like, you know, shooting objects that are coming at you. And graphically looks impressive. Like, looks really great for a Game Boy Advance game. You almost have like these crazy 3D effects, which are really cool, but pretty hard. Especially since you're playing on a tiny screen. I'm playing on a Advance SP, you know, the backlit one. And it's like, even though the colors look great and the brightness is good, it's still hard to see the enemies coming at you and really kind of gauging, you know, your ability to shoot on the same plane. So it's, you know, it's still fun. It's still fun. Like, and it looks great, honestly. Like, pretty amazing that this can run on the Game Boy Advance, you know, as well as it does. You know, really good frame rate and everything. So, and then I got another homebrew game, Dedius. I couldn't believe I found this one. This is another game I had on my list, but I'm like, I'm never gonna find this ever. And yeah, a vendor had it. I think this was literally the last purchase I made at Midwest Gaming Classic, because I had just enough money for it. I had $90 for it. And this, you know, regular old Game Boy game. This is like a RPG. It looks like, graphically, it looks like Pokemon with its graphical style and also survival horror elements. Apparently there's over 10 endings. And you're living in a nightmare, and you have 3 days to investigate the end of the world and work out how to save your village, if you can at all. So I'm excited to play it. It looks very interesting. I saw gameplay footage of it, and it looks really dark for a Game Boy game. This is something that would have never came out in the Game Boy when the Game Boy was out. But I'm excited to jump into it. Looks pretty interesting. Some cheap ones. I needed Tomb Raider Underworld for my collection. I also want, this is my favorite Ghost Recon game ever. Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Really good game. And then Juiced. That's it. Picked up Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I played Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube. Fell in love with it. So I'm like, well, now I got to get all the other Luigi's Mansion games. So 20 bucks for a 3DS game. Not bad. Oh yeah, I ended up getting this from Limited Run finally. Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit edition. Solid game, honestly. Kind of hard. Neva, this isn't retro, but this is still a really good game that I'm glad to have in my collection. I bought it digitally, and you know, I'm just glad to have it. Some PSP games I wanted to pick up. Pursuit Force. That's that damn GameStop sticker that I gotta figure out how to get off. I can get it off. Half Minute Hero. Solid game. I haven't played it yet, but it looks a lot of fun. And then Prinny. Can I Really Be a Hero? I want to say I bought this for a used price because this is sealed and everything. So I definitely didn't pay what the complete in box new sealed price was. That's for sure. I honestly forget what I paid for it, but I know I looked and I was like, ooh. And it comes with the soundtrack and everything. So pretty cool. Yeah, I now remember I paid $40 for this. So for a sealed PSP copy, especially for a game like Prinny, that's really good platformer. Awesome. So also, since you guys know I'm a Mass Effect fan, I was surprised to find this, the DVD Blu-ray of Paragon Lost. So finally glad that I don't have to watch this on YouTube anymore. I have a Blu-ray for it. Let's get to it's winding down here. God, how long is this video gonna be? I got a couple LPs. So Silent Hill 2. I paid a lot for this one. Almost more than I care to admit. But, you know, it's got all the mainstays. It's got all the kind of like main good tracks. When I was carrying this around, I unfortunately ripped it. God, I hate to admit that, but still, you know, the vinyls still hold up and everything. And obviously out of all the soundtracks, all the Silent Hill soundtracks for all the games out there, this is the best one. So I'm pretty sure that's not a hot take, but, you know, some people may disagree. So, and then Gree. This isn't retro, but this is still a good, amazing soundtrack. Like, honestly, this game itself is awesome. I play it almost every year. It's a comfort food game for me. And the music is just so ethereal and so emotional and so very soothing piano melodies and stuff. The Berlinist does the soundtrack, and it's great. Last two things here. I got the Sega Game Gear, which is really cool. In box, complete in box. And the great thing about it is, like, I wanted them to open it, and he opened it, and of course at the time it doesn't have it on here now, but really good, solid, really, I mean, looks amazing, looks good, like barely even opened. It had the screen protector on it, and even the guy pulled it out and he was like, I can't believe this still has a screen protector on it. Like, we're talking a 30-year-old screen protector at this point. Looked a little grody, but so I don't know if anybody's really played it or not. But ever. No battery corrosion on the contacts, nothing. Like, I ended up putting my own batteries in it. But plays great. The guy swore he recapped everything. He put a little sticker on it. It was another guy from his unit, but came with little baggies, came with the strap, which I'll figure out how to put on later. My favorite part about this is, this was the Sonic 2 edition, but it didn't come with Sonic 2 at all. But it came with all the books and everything, instruction manuals, posters, a couple different posters. Came with even like the registration card, which is really cool. This was my favorite thing in it. Came with the original receipt from Sears. Really cool. And the receipt is dated for, December 4th, 1993. And the original price for this, they paid $130 for this. And I want to say they bought it looks like they bought another game for it for $50. So really cool. These were the days where like you couldn't just, they didn't have credit card scanners. They had to actually take your credit card and slide it through like a thing. This is like a carbon copy receipt. So I probably shouldn't be showing people's, not the whole credit card number is not barely visible, but yeah, it's even got the person's name on it and everything. So awesome. If you're out there, I have your Game Gear. So you can't have it anymore though. But it works. It works great. I played a couple games on it already, and yeah, I'm glad to have it because I have 3 Game Gears in my collection, the 4th now. I have 3 Game Gears in my collection, but none of them work fully. They all have different problems with it. So I'm just, glad to now have a working Game Gear because I saw, funny enough, I saw people selling Game Gears like recapped and refurbished. They were selling them for $200. Just the Game Gear itself. This box and the Game Gear, brand new practically, $200. Like, you can't go wrong with that. Like, I'm still like kind of dumbfounded that I was able to find a box in such, a box in such good condition. I mean, sharp edges. Like, yeah, it's been opened a couple times, so you got a little wear here, and obviously this is a 30-year-old box, but man, I'm just so glad that I could finally display this, and I can look at it because my wife had a Game Gear growing up, and she lost it when I came home and I showed her this, and she was like, oh my God, she had a Game Gear. She doesn't play video games now, but she was so excited to have a Game Gear box that we can kind of look at. So last but not least, this was the big ticket item. I want to say out of everything that I bought, I spent the most money on this, and this is Elemental Gearbolt. And I've had this game on my list for a long time, and I thought to myself, I'm never going to purchase this, but I came with a budget, and this was one of the first things I bought because it's like, well, if I want to scoop this up, I might as well do it now. And I spent $320 for this, which I think is under what the value was. I mean, it's convention prices. So I think for a convention price, I think I got away with it. So good, solid disc. But this is a working designs game. And I mean, just the manual itself, that kind of like sheen or whatever. I don't know if it's going to pop up actually on the camera, but really solid book, really crisp pages. I mean, I keep saying it, man, but like books, man. This is so amazing. It's got story in here. It's got really cool descriptions of some of the enemies you're going to fight. And this is a light gun game. Working Designs didn't need to go hard on this.
Cycles have already elapsed.
I shudder to think that I am part of this killing machine. Our power was supposed to enable peace, but all we have wrought is death. This cannot continue.
Initiate self-destruct sequence. Process elementals.
it's even got like like interviews in here. I mean, this is like practically like a small magazine. So this is like I said, this is a light gun game, and it's got like anime cutscenes in between a lot of the levels, and a really well fleshed out kind of fantasy story. I haven't beaten it yet. I've gotten through a good portion of the game already, but just really good art style, really good design. You know, works with the gun con, and it works great. But just like I said, it's a working designs game, so these games aren't cheap because this is a very well-known developer back then. So like I said, I paid over $300 for this. I'm glad I have it in my collection. Thankfully, the price hasn't fluctuated that much over the last few years. So maybe if I'd have gotten it years and years ago, I would have paid a cheaper price for this. But nonetheless, this has been one of my little bucket list items that I've been looking for. So when I go to the Midwest Gaming Classic, it's always like, I got to get a bucket list item, at least one. And this was it for sure. So yeah, that about wraps it up for this video. You know, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate this. Really appreciate your support and watching my content, listening to my podcast, checking out my videos. The videos aren't necessarily regular. This is something still kind of new for me. I'm not, you know, well versed in video making and video editing, so I hope you enjoy this type of content. And you know, just like I said, follow the podcasts, follow me, Retro XP, and you know, like and subscribe here on YouTube. Thanks.